Jones and the Giants continued a strong preseason last night. 3 games, he's thrown 2 touchdowns, just 5 incompletions. And you see, if you put up there the other first-round rookies, he's been the best of those 3 for whatever it's worth. I can give you his full numbers. He's 25 of 30 for 369 and 2 touchdowns in this preseason. Ryan, I want you to repeat with Louis Riddick with us what you said on this show earlier.
It's time to ignore the Manning name, to ignore the Manning family and the 2 Super Bowls and say we have a guy that can start. I know it didn't come into the season as a competition. It wasn't Eli versus Daniel Jones. There was a plan in place. But any plan that can't be adjusted is a terrible plan to me. This guy has shown that he is ready. He has shown that he can stand in the pocket, make the throws needed, and also understand where the ball needs to go. So for me, stop doing the normal thing. Stop worrying about what history tells you and be the same G, Dave Gettleman, that you were on draft night. When you sit up there and you were looking at us like we were stupid after Louis Riddick and Todd McShay and all these other folks said you were a dummy. Go out there and be a G again and let Daniel Jones be the starting quarterback week 1.
What do you think, Louis?
Nah, well, Ryan, I didn't say he was a dummy. But,
no,
you know, I just like Dwayne Haskins, but that's cool. But you know what? Let's put it this way. All right, he has done a tremendous job of executing exactly what Pat Shurmur has asked him to execute, which you have to give Pat Shurmur some credit. Because if you notice in every game, the play calling sequence just makes sense. Let's start you out with some 3-step drops. Let's throw a couple slants. Let's throw a couple shallow routes, some shallow crossers, and then we'll start pushing it down the field. Then we'll attack the second level, then we'll attack the third level. It's very, very calculated as to how they called the plays for him, and he's executing that. Now, the plays where he has to instinctively come off and go to second and third reads, he's doing that too, and he's putting the ball where it needs to be put. The only thing I would caution and say is this: before you start, sticking your chest out talking about you need to start asking all the people who didn't like him why they didn't like him. You know what I mean? Well, okay, teams right now, they're not going off of any tendencies. They're not trying to attack your protections. They're not trying to take away some of your options. They're not trying to really look at you and go, what makes him uncomfortable? And let's attack that spot until he figures out and see if he can figure out what to do when we take away what he likes to do best. No one's done that to you yet. And you know this, Ryan. Week 1 of the regular season, when everybody is amped up for opening weekend, and then week 2, 3, 4, all the way down through 17, there's some grown men coming after you who now have a book on what it is that you don't like. So before you start acting like this is going to be the norm, let's just slow down, because Eli has played very little. Eli has seen everything that any defense could ever throw at you. If through the first quarter of the season, first third of the season, Eli looks like, hey, look, he's hitting the wall. He's slowing down. And everyone there at the Giants has said he looks great. He looks fantastic. And as a matter of fact, the last quarter of the season last year, he looked spectacular. Well, let's just see what he looks like, because Eli knows what it's like for people to game plan him. Everyone knows what Eli doesn't like. Everyone knows what Eli likes to throw. So he's seen it all, and he has shown you in the biggest moments he can adjust to those kinds of things. And I'm not sitting here pining for Eli Manning saying he's the man, because maybe, Daniel Jones is the future. But let's just slow down on him until we actually see how things progress during the regular season, and then we'll take it from there as far as putting him in the Giants Hall of Fame.
We will leave it there. Louis Riddick, you were the best. Enjoy the weekend. Thank you so much for this, and we'll see you next week.
Now, you don't get a chance to talk, Ryan. No.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm running out of time. Jeff hasn't said a word in 20 minutes.
Jeff could talk. He over here shaking his head like Louis is right, though.
That's because he is right. And that's because Ryan is acting like, yesterday everybody's screaming at Dave Gettleman for drafting the guy, and everybody's screaming to get him to start. Look, Dave Gettleman needs to take his time. He's got his career on the line. If Daniel Jones comes out there in week 8 and balls out, great.
First off,
a perfect
Dave
scenario.
Gettleman showed us he didn't care about his career on draft night. When he took Daniel Jones 6th, he said, you know what? I don't care about my career. It's about this guy I want. If this is the guy you want and he's shown you that he can do what you expected him to do, if that's true, put him out there.
That's a hot take.
I will leave it there.
It's about hot takes.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, highlights, and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.